show. Three-time NBA champion and 2015 Finals MVP, Andre Iguodala. What's up, Andre?
How we doing?
Man, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you since Warriors days.
What's up,
Tough
big boy?
interviews as your sideline reporter.
Yeah, you're doing big and better things.
I'm happy to have you here. Stephen A. saying what's up?
Stephen A., what up?
What's up, big boy? How you doing, man? Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm good.
Max was trying to clown Stephen A.'s leather jacket. I just want your fashion advice because I know you do fashion. Do you like Stephen A.'s fit?
I thought Shaft right away, but I'm trying to guess what what that turtleneck is. It's really nice. I like you got the red and white on the side.
You know what the problem is?
I think it's Prada. Is it Prada?
No, the problem is every time you see it, you know it's the same one.
It's Montclair.
Montclair.
Beautiful. I like it.
I have 4 of them. Number 1
now.
and number 2. I don't want to hear that comment from a dude that got about 3 suits that he wears all year long. And Max telling me
I got like 12 suits. They just don't look the same.
But let's go on.
Get it right.
As long as they're clean,
they all look the same. Whatever.
That's right.
Stop
clean.
it.
Andre,
You're to the Board of Health.
You're always clean, and I can't wait to see you back on the court. When can we expect that?
I've had like some, it's been a blessing in disguise in terms of having this time off. And I think it's added some years to my career. Just waking up in the morning and you don't have that normal pain. When you wake up in the morning in January, the last 16 years, and you're looking for the pain, like, oh, there it is, and then you don't have that. So it's kind of been good. So I've been on the court, I'm in shape. I'm kind of slim, so I can use like 3.5 pounds of muscle.
Okay.
Take me a couple of days to put that on, but I'm ready to get back on the court. So it was good to get that little break.
I know you always commit to next level training. Sometimes you'll do yoga, you'll give up sugar. What are you committing to right now as far as taking your body to the next level?
I've been doing a lot of boxing.
Good it is.
Stephen A., you can join me anytime. We'll get that hook right.
That uppercut was okay. It was the left hand. Yeah,
Yeah, the hook to the left. You got
the left was going
please.
down, kneecapping someone. But the uppercut was okay.
Try swinging with a torn rotator cuff and come talk to me. That's all I'm trying to say. But
What
it's all right.
kind
If
of
I can
fool
give
is
me that,
swinging with a
we'll see.
torn
I'll be
rotator
back.
cuff?
I know,
How is boxing
I know,
helping
because
basketball?
Because Max, I was. Well, go ahead.
Because you're competitive. Control yourself.
Well, I think boxing is one of the harder sports to train for. There's so many body parts moving. You just got to be in sync. And you can. The heavy bag is the most mysterious workout I've ever been involved with, where something's not hitting you back, but your whole body's hurting.
That's exactly right. They're like, the bag's not hitting you back, but try 3 rounds on the heavy. That's the longest 3 minutes of your life by the 3rd round if you're not in shape.
Yes, so it's keeping you in shape without pounding on the knees.
Let me say this. Let me say this, Dre, in all seriousness. I love the fact that you have been going and that you have been getting your rest, because I'm of the belief and the mindset when it comes to Clay and Steph, I don't want to see them this year. I'm mad Drake came back. And, I know they healthy, but when you go to 5 straight finals, to do that, just like even if LeBron, if he were hurt, I'm saying if you healthy, that's different. But if you hurt, to me, I have no problem with not seeing y'all this year, because as far as I'm concerned, particularly with Clay and Steph, come back next year, be ready to roll, and get back to championship contention. That's what I hope for everybody else. In your situation right now, you say you're ready to get back on the court. Does that mean right now, does that mean you want to play this season for a championship contender?
It's more than just that, and you said it, and I've been joking about this lately in terms of, I call it the Hampton Six. I call it the Hampton Six because sometimes we underestimate Sean Livingston's impact for our team, but he's retired. But none of us are playing basketball right now. We went through that whole stretch of 5 years, 6 years old, playing a lot of basketball. It's good to get a break, and we'll see my guy KD come back next year, ready to kill the league, and of course we're gonna see my guys Steph and Clay ready to tear things up. And Draymond's, every couple games, he's getting his mind right. He's going to be back. So it was a good little break for all of us. And I think sometimes people forget how much basketball we played.
Andre, without getting into where you might end up, it seems to me, and I relate everything to the late 90s Yankees, because I'm a Yankees fan, and it was the greatest team of all time, right? Everyone talked about the core 4, Derek Jeter and 3 other guys who came up together, and they always left out Bernie Williams, who might have been the best player on the team a bunch of those years, and he came up through the system too, just a little bit older. When people talk about the Warriors, they talk about 3 core guys, really. They talk about Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Then KD came, and your name gets left off to me too often, right? You became the underappreciated key to that team. You were completely essential to the success. How does it feel now to be seen by many as the balance of power player in the NBA? People are saying, where's Iguodala going to go? That could tip the scales one way or another. How does that feel?
It's kind of an interesting vibe. You know, for me, I don't listen too much to good news. I don't listen too much to bad news. So you just try to keep even keel, just try to make sure I'm sharp. You know, I'm in the training right now to make sure I'm sharp. It's kind of like being in boxing mode. You know, right before a fight, you want to make sure everything's sharpened up. You don't want to go too hard, too crazy, save the legs. Not playing enough golf, which has been strange. That's been a strange thing about being out. I thought my handicap would go down, but it's actually going the other way. But just staying sharp. But you kind of feel a little bit appreciated, but it can go to the ego. So just making sure that I'm ready to go and ready to show what I can do out there on the floor.
The February 6th trade deadline is approaching, and you said you want to be on the court somehow, some way this season, so we don't know exactly what will happen, but the Warriors were a really interesting, special situation to be in. Could you imagine yourself in a similar role like that, where maybe you ramp it up during playoffs, you come in and run the second unit, or could you see yourself on a different team that's not stacked with, you know, Hall of Famers and have an even kind of bigger contribution night after night?
I think the key is to have a good balance. You know, you don't want to. It's tough sometimes. You can get perception can become reality for a lot of guys. So you don't want to put in a position where, okay, I'm a little bit older now. I'm just going to do this. You know, I'm just going to teach guys. Or I have to go somewhere where I have to start, and it's all or nothing in terms of starting. So you want to put yourself in a position where you're maximizing your talent, whether it be directly on the floor, helping the guys out, contributing with points, steals, rebounds, assists, all those things. So at my age, you want to maximize what you can still put out there, and I feel like I still have a lot to give. So hopefully the right situation comes about for myself and for the Memphis Grizzlies as well, and, you know, wishing for the best for both of us.
Well, it's approaching soon, February 6th, to
Dre,
see if anything. Oh, go ahead, Stephen A.
Yeah, I just want to say this. First of all, you know, you don't have to give your opinion. I'll be damned if I'm not going to do it on this show. I want you with one of the LA teams. Damn it. Period. I want to get that out of the way.
Now, don't get him in trouble.
Don't say one of them. Which one?
I'm not. No. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to make sure that I'm in LA in June. That's it. That's all I care about. That I'm in Southern California.
Oh, this is a selfish issue. This is for
my
you.
personal preference. That's me. That's me. Now, it's about me. It's about me. But let me say this. Let me transition. Dre, because here's the deal. LeBron James comes out last night. I think it was last night, yesterday sometime, and he says, we have enough to win. I want to state what I feel, and then I want to hear your thoughts. I believe, talent-wise, they do. Although I believe Derrick Rose would be a perfect addition to add to the squad, because the Lakers are clearly not the same when LeBron goes off the floor. When they run their pick-and-roll offense when he's on the floor, and it looks fabulous. He gets off the floor. I don't think Rondo warrants the respect that a Derrick Rose has, because he's not a scoring point guard, even though he's a great point guard. And as a result, that has to change things up for Coach Vogel, and I think they're compromised to some degree. But my biggest thing about the Lakers is the Clippers. I think the Lakers need a goon. I think they need a rough ride. I think they need a pest. Well, I don't give a damn if it's a Patrick Beverly or a bigger version of him or something. I think that when it comes down to the Lakers and the Clippers, I think it's about that heart. The Clippers tell me they got 5 dogs on their squad. They're wondering whether or not the Lakers have one. I want to know what your thoughts are when you look at those two LA teams, and specifically to what LeBron James said about the Lakers having enough to win this year.
Well, LeBron James has been to so many. It means you lose count of how many finals he's been to. I think he's one of those
9.
very, very few players who elevates the other 4 guys on his team like no other. Kind of like Magic Johnson. Like, everybody's a threat on the floor. One thing I have seen in the Lakers, and I always give a shout out to my guys and former teammates, but they had a stretch when AD was out. He missed a bunch of games. They still won. Quinn Cook came in and did a hell of a job coming in, putting in some points. He can score the ball. And, you know, so sometimes you have question marks, and you have guys like Quinn Cook, Alex Caruso. I think Rondo's very underrated as well. Sometimes you look at his numbers and they might not tell the whole story. You know, the way he's orchestrating different things like that. And you don't see often too many teams that put two big men and rotate them the way they've done with Dwight Howard and the way they've done with JaVale McGee and how they've done. And then you look at the Clippers and a little different because they have a lot of weapons, like you said. Montrezl Harrell's putting up, he gets 30, seems like every other week. And Lou Williams is able to get to the foul line like no other. And he's shown that he can do that in the playoffs as well. Last year's playoff performance, especially against us, was amazing. And coming back from 31 game and taking the game from us in Golden State, they made us up our game a little bit. So, they have a lot of weapons as well. They've been really solid in terms of where they're positioned right now, considering their injuries and considering that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George haven't been on the floor as much. So, you want to see them play a little bit more these last, 30, 40 games and seeing that they can build some chemistry going to the playoffs because they're going to be dangerous as well.
When you say what you can still do, touched on some of the stuff that you can still do. When I look at the Lakers, there's a good reason people talk about Derrick Rose. They could use another ball handler. I disagree with you about Rondo at this point in his career. I don't think it's a great fit with him out there a lot of the times. I think that's why they need another guy. But they need a two-way wing or a guy who can do things on both sides. Who's a dog on the Lakers? I agree with Stephen A. That sounds like Andre Iguodala to me. On the other hand, I look at the Clippers and I go, Patrick Beverley, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Everywhere you look, you got a dude who will play on both sides of the floor. And I think about Andre Iguodala on that team. Boy, that's a nightmare for other teams. Would you rather go to a team that you feel like you fit in with that group better? Or would you rather go to a team where you look and they go, they could really use a guy like me on that team?
Well, you're picking your poison, in terms of, you having the poison and you being able to shoot that in every way, whichever way you want against your opponent. I go back to that Rondo thing. I think he does enhance their bench and making sure they get the most out of their bench. And I think that does give them a little bit more depth than the Clippers. But the Clippers have a little bit more firepower in terms of, the guys you just named, Paul George all the way down to Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell. They just got a lot of things going on right there. And, they got Magruder. They still got some other guys who are still coming to form.
You put Iguodala in that starting five, and Lou Williams really is a sixth man. Ooh,
right, but Max and Stephen A. keep going under this assumption that the Lakers need a dog, and then implying they don't have a dog on that team. You haven't been in the league and played against all these different players. You might know them more intimately, the guys on that roster. Do you feel that the Lakers have somebody with fire? Sometimes being a dog isn't necessarily communicated vocally or in that way. If there is someone, could you point them out?
Well, I think they've maximized their two bigs, unlike any other team in the league. With the way that they're rotating.
Other than AD, you mean? You mean Dwight and
Dwight and JaVale, who were written off 4 or 5 years ago in the league, and the way they've been able to resurrect their career, I think that shows. You got to give a lot of credit to LeBron, who's co-signed on it, obviously, and said.